Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, welcome to today's session. This is another mentorship session brought to you by Tech1M. My name is Tommie Edwards. I'm the CEO here at Tech1M, and we have a beautiful guest today who is no stranger to us. She's been here before, and she gave us, very, very interesting tips and nuggets on how we could, basically create different things as a solution architect. So now we are looking into something, a lot more relatable, regardless of where you are. Thanks for the loves and likes. We're happy to be
Hello.
here as well. So I'm going to get Arinade to introduce herself because I know some of you were probably not here the last time she spoke, and then you might just be listening to a replay and you're like, "Who is this person?" So let's get her to introduce herself, and just before then, so you know exactly what we are doing here today. This is a mentorship session. We're going to be looking at setting up for success in today's hiring market. This is a hot topic. There's so many people out there that really, really want to know how to, you're asking your friend, how did you do it? So now we're about to get into it. Let's talk about how do we set ourselves up for success in today's hiring market. But before we dive into it, let's introduce our guest and I'll allow her to introduce herself. So Ariade, over to you, please.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi. Thanks for the hellos. My name is Arinade Onafowora, although some people call me Mo. So if you hear Mo, then you know that it's still the same person. I am a solution architect. I have been working in this space for some time now. Also, background in business analysis, solution analysis as well. I also am an entrepreneur, so I've got businesses that I am currently building and products that I'm bringing into the market. I am a champion for women and children who want us to do very well in the world. And so, therefore, all the products and all the work that I do is targeted to the um, enhancement and prosperity of women around the world. So, I think that's really about me.
I will. That's why I'm like, I can't introduce anyone. You're better off introducing yourself because then you touch on areas that we are like, oh, okay. I only thought this person was, this, and you touch on other areas. So people get to know a lot more. So thank you for doing that. And today's topic, I know you're as excited as I am because I think it's a very interesting one. And I feel like we're going to be bombarded with quite a number of questions. So, guys, you know the drill. What you need to do is while we keep talking, I already will probably have prepared something for us so that we could know what does she feel is setting up for success. But I think you guys already have your own questions that you would have. Can you start putting that in the Q&A so I could ask her immediately and then we could get this rolling? So, for me, I think my very first question to you, I know that you've been in the industry for a while and you've worked for many companies that a lot of people would dream to work for. And I know that people say, "Oh, okay, you can't say that." I know that there's an element of favor, luck, and all of that into it, but then there's so much that you had to prepare for before those sort of things, they certainly then happen to you. How would you say you prepared? How did you get yourself into the successful position that you're in right now that a lot of people want to be in, especially in the career pathwise? And for people that are listening, would you say what worked back then still works now? So those are kind of like my two layered questions.
Okay, thank you. I didn't prepare for this. I didn't prepare notes for this because I felt like I was going to speak from my heart for this.
Which is always the
Uh,
nicest. Yeah. Speaking from the heart is the authentic thing.
yes, exactly. Because that way I would draw from inside rather than being sort of like mechanical with with my notes. So, in the first place, regardless of whatever you believe in, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, or whether you don't even believe in God at all, for me, setting up success, I take a foundation from the Bible that says that a man without a vision, right? A man without a vision is a man that is essentially setting up for defeat, right? So before you even, in order to start into the have a mindset of success, how am I going to be successful in this sort of, I'm going into the market and I want to be hired. You have to have a vision in your mind for where you want to be, and not just only where you want to be, like you've seen yourself already in that, in your mind's eye, in this particular company and exactly what you're doing. Because when you have a vision for where you want to be, when
Mm,
you are in front of somebody and they're asking you questions, because the vision is inside of you, even if you don't know the answers to the exact questions that they're asking, because you will come out with the passion that is inside of you because you already have that vision in your head, as opposed to when you just turn up and say, "Oh, I saw this company. Let me apply to them." You don't have a vision. You don't see yourself there. You don't see what you
mm.
could bring to the table. You don't see what the company could even do for you. You don't see yourself going for lunch and making friends and having colleagues, and you don't see all of that. All you are doing is just mechanically looking for a job. For me, that is the very first step towards success.
They are
Because
dreaming it into reality.
yes,
You're dreaming
having
it
that vision, yes, it's like you've
inside.
seen yourself there. Like I remember many years ago, I think it was a job I was going for at HSBC, and HSBC is in Canary Wharf. This was like maybe 12 years ago, and Canary Wharf is a place. I don't know if people know Canary Wharf here, but Canary Wharf is a place where you have tall buildings of all these banks in the UK, right? And they're there, skyscrapers and stuff. And I remember going there, right, and just entering into the environment. I was looking at all the buildings, and I could see, people in their offices typing, and I saw myself. I was like, one day I'm going to be here. One day I'm going to work here. I'll sit on this bench. I would have lunch here. There's a restaurant there. That's where I'll get my tea in the morning. Like I saw myself in that environment. I saw myself going up the escalators. I saw myself there. Because when you see yourself, it's not just only, it goes beyond the dream. It's like you've put yourself in the future and you're there. That way, when I went for all these interviews with Barclays and HSBC and Credit Suisse, because I'd seen myself there, I was like already part of them already. Do you understand? So for me, this is like the foundation for me, because when the Bible said it's a man without a vision, it didn't say a man with experience. It didn't say a man with the best education. It said a man without a vision. So vision is so important to see yourself there, and then you work towards the skill sets that when you sit in front of somebody and they're asking you questions, you can articulate properly. You can come across as confident, right? So we can talk about that in the next questions. But for me, this is like the very foundation, that vision of seeing yourself in a particular place that you want to work in.
So that means that, and I could guess the answer to this already, because of that very, very first step of you seeing yourself, and you're like, okay, you saw yourself climbing up the escalator. This is where I'm going to eat. That's bringing it home. That means that for whatever, it just means that you're not defeating your own mindset. You're already plugging your mindset to it that I can do this. So that
Absolutely.
already starts to make you believe that possibly something is going to happen. I just now need to work towards it. So,
Yes.
and I think that still works today, because it's
Oh
something
yeah.
that will work forever because it's
Oh
like,
yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. You're very right. You see yourself as victorious, as part of them already. You don't see
Mm.
yourself as an outsider trying to penetrate in. You see yourself as, this is my area, this is my company, this is where I have lunch with my friends, this is where I buy my, you just see yourself there. And honestly, there's no difference between neuroscience. This is neuroscience. There's no difference between something that has happened and something that hasn't happened. When you plant it in your brain, you still have the same emotional reaction to it. You still have that connection to it, whether it has happened or not, because it's in your mind's eye. So you see yourself, you almost see yourself smiling when, because I remember smiling, being happy, like, okay, so this is where I eat this. And it's not la la land dreaming. This is not voodoo, whatever it is. This is you really planting yourself positively in the environment that you want to see yourself, and seeing yourself as equals to the people that are already there. They're not better than you. They're not bigger than you. You are equally as talented and equally as um worthy of being in that environment. So that's what that visualization does. It really plants you there. It really gives you that sense of
Yeah.
that you are
And
there.
I guess from what you're
Yeah.
saying, it stops to make it like something huge. It makes it something almost touchable. You just need
Yeah.
to do something to now touch it. You get, and
Yes.
I think that that breaks that sort of barrier. That you know, you hear some names and you're like, oh my god, but then after a while you're like, okay, it's not really. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an incredible achievement, but then
Yes.
you you've been able to break that barrier. And
Yes.
this is something that you won't find. Of course, you'll find it in some interesting textbooks. You need to start looking for psychological textbooks and stuff. But if you go on to like your product design textbooks, they're not going to give you this. If you go on
No.
to your business analysis textbook, so these are things that you get from, you know, from mentors that have been there, they've done, they're telling you their own tricks. If you want to climb, you know, to the next level, you have to visualize it. Otherwise, if you can't visualize it, it's difficult for it to happen. What are you trying to make happen if you really
Exactly.
can't visualize it? So
Mm.
then I'll go on to, so now I've visualized it. What next?
Next is preparation. Is preparation. Now, and this is where the whole sort of imposter syndrome talk also comes in, and everything, knowing that you're worthy to actually apply for any job. So you finished your training, say for example with Tech1M training, you've gone through all the processes, you've learned so much, you now know exactly what to do as a BA or a designer. You're like, okay, cool, so now I'm going for this job. You need to prepare. Sorry, and then you visualized, you've gone to the area, you even maybe even have the company in mind that you really want to work with. Maybe you have five of them, you've seen yourself there, now, after that, you now need to prepare. What do I mean by prepare? First of all, on your skill set itself, right? Make sure that your sword is, you know, is sharpened, right?
Hmm.
In the terms that, okay, as a BA, they're going to ask you some certain questions. So you have to do your research about what kind of questions are you asked in a BA interview. Now in the digital age, there's so much information out there. There's so much knowledge. There's YouTube is amazing when it comes to things like this. Do your research and say, okay, as a BA, I'm going for this job, or maybe you even have the job description that you've seen that you're applying for. Put that job description in YouTube. Let it bring out some articles for you. Read it. Like, okay, they might ask me this. They might ask me how, for example, they might ask me how do I deal with difficult stakeholders, right? How do I respond to that? So you have that preparation in terms of for your skill set. Then you have the preparation for the company itself. Now um, this is not you memorizing their balance sheets and what happened to them in 2014. This is just you knowing the basics about that company. So it's HSBC, for example, it's a bank. Okay, it's a commercial. Do they do investment banking? Do they do, trade? Those are the things that you want to know. On the basic level, if it's another company, agricultural company, when were they established? Okay, who's the CEO or current CEO? What's the what does it look like? How many branches they have and stuff like that. So you just do your preparation on the company. You don't need to dig, and have like this encyclopedia of the things that the company does, but you just need to know what the company does at a very fundamental level, right? Things that you know that if they ask you, you can throw it back and say, yeah, oh, you know, the Forbes list that you were listed on in 2020, for example, made me drawn to this company. Like I want to work for a company like this, for example. And it's just throw the interviewer off. Like, oh, okay, so you know about that. That means you've done your research. You don't want to come across as aloof. Like they ask you, why do you want to work with our company? You can't answer other than I want to work here because I feel like I'm going to be able to have a good career. That's a very uh, frivolous sort of surface answer to give, but you give them something more constructive. They know that you're bringing something to the table because you have done your research. So that's on the skill set and that's on the company's level. Do your research, prepare. Now, the other level is being able to come across, being able to express yourself, right? And articulate your points. I know sometimes it can be daunting, especially if you've never had like interviews, lots of interviews before. It's your first one. Don't worry if you have to go through 50 interviews. You only sharpen your pencil as you go through those interviews. As a matter of fact, if I were you, I would have like my main five companies that goodness, I wish I could work with any of these five. And then I have like five or six other companies that if they take me, that's fine. If they don't take me, that's okay. Apply to all of them. If you get interviews for all of them, fantastic. What you then do is for those ones that you kind of like you're second rating, maybe because they're far away from your house, or maybe they're not really offering what you really want. Go for those interviews. Use that as a practice to get yourself across, to be able to articulate yourself, because it's not about speaking in like the best Queen's English. It's about being able to answer questions confidently and know that you are not an imposter. And how do you know that you're not an imposter? Because you've already done the work. So if you've already done the work by being trained, right? By going to the school of YouTube and getting some more knowledge to what you already have. That's why you're not an imposter. Even if you've never done the job before, you know what the skill set is, you know where to begin. So it's all about conveying that confidence to the person who's speaking to you, to say, yeah, why do you want to work with us? You sit up straight, you look straight at them in the eye, sorry. You don't fidget, and you're like twisting about on your chair or looking for the water, or do you understand? All of that is because you haven't prepared. But if you've prepared
Yeah.
psychologically, in the vision, on the basic level, on the education, on your skill set, you've sharpened your sword, on the fact that you know the company to a certain extent, you've done your research. All of that would not make you an imposter, because you know these things. You're not trying to figure it out as they're asking you the question. So when you're right in front of them, you're answering the questions, you're with a small smile, with a smile at the corner of your eyes, not frowning, looking down, just sort of looking up and smiling a little bit, answering
Mm.
those questions articulately as they're asking you. So why do you want to work with us? Because I think this is a great company, because there's a lot I can do and bring to the table, because I want to move the trajectory of this company forward, because I'm good with people, and because I know how to handle stakeholders. You're just talking, and the person is like, okay, okay. Because every single company is looking for somebody who is coming to make a change, even if it's the smallest change. They don't want to pay you to come and sit down and, you know, twiddle your thumbs at your desk. They want you to come and be a part of the organization. So when you show that passion, you show that passion through what you're saying. And what you're saying means you have to stand in front of the mirror, you have to practice. Practice, practice, practice. You stand there. Why do you want to do this? If this happened to you, if we don't take you, how would you feel? All those questions. And then use those companies that I told you about, the ones that you don't really, really want to work with, but you use them as your practicing ground, right? For example, I remember like 6 years ago, there was a company all the way in Scotland. I knew there was no way I could work with this company. And back then, it wasn't, it's not like now that anyone can work from anywhere and everyone is open to the idea of working from home. They wanted me to come to Scotland to be there. I didn't want to go to Scotland and leave London. So I went for the interview anyway. Why did I go? Because I wanted to sharpen my skills. Doesn't matter how many times you've done this, you keep learning every day. So I went for the interview. I spoke, and it was all about learning from people as well, learning from different environment. I knew I wasn't going to take the job, but I still did it. So that's what I'm saying to you. Don't despise any opportunity. Don't look down on any opportunity. Go for it all. Use that to sharpen your sword. Use that to get more into your arsenal, right? And when you start to speak to the companies that you really, really are praying to God for, and you've seen yourself in, you'll be prepared. You'll be more than prepared when you stay in front of them. So those, for me, is the next step.
Wow, that's a whole lot packed in there. I hope you guys took notes. I hope for those of you, I hope you brought your pens and papers, or you're remarkable and you're writing and scribbling, because she's dropping a whole lot of bombs today. And that's it, to be honest. It's just all about, we've talked about the different steps, and these steps are, as you guys could see it, they are very, very practical. It's just the fact that you have to dream it. Then now you know, okay, yeah, this is where I want to work. Then she went deeper and broke it down. You then have, some top companies that you're like, okay, this is how I want to get the ball. For me, I think there's something that, because I've been watching some of the talents that we have. I'll give an example. There are some jobs that are obviously on Tech1M, and we'll put those jobs out there. And some of the people that are, you've just been trained, you haven't got so much experience. You've probably, yeah, worked on a project for 6 weeks, or probably while you were learning in Tech1M or while you were in school, you did some things. But then you are not as seasoned as a 7 year plus or a 5 year plus experience, and you could see that some of them were just basically unrealistic with the sort of earning potentials that they want to start getting right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like, even though, because I had to say this because of, you said, look at the 5 companies you want to work for, the ones that you really want, all of them, you see people writing Facebook, Google, they will write all day. But then Do you understand what they're hiring? Not like you can't work for Facebook, Google, because that's what we preach. You can work for all of those companies, but then you have to understand that they take the best of the best. How do you make yourself the best of the best, and how do you get from I have just finished learning to I have now worked, I have sharpened my arsenal, I'm now ready to be able to go into this area. I'm now ready to I now have some companies that okay, these are the companies I can work for at the moment, get all the experiences I want to get, move forward again, and keep moving forward. So I don't know, because I know a lot of them are hearing this right now. All what they are hearing is not, they're just hearing, oh, Amazon, and they're writing Amazon now, and they're writing, oh, yes, I want to be able to work for the United States White House. And they're writing all of those sort of things down. Doesn't mean that there's nothing you write down that is not possible, but it's how you achieve it. Is it a step by step thing or is it a jump thing? I think that's kind of where my next question is coming from.
Yes, no, I agree with you 100%. Absolutely aim for the stars, aim for the moon, right? But don't, that's why I made the comment about don't despise any opportunity, right? Don't say anything is beneath you. Because in there's some companies that you don't even you have no idea of what would happen if you worked with them, aside from the fact that you could gain the valuable experience. But then not everything is all about the big names. Yes, Facebook, Amazon, Google, these are companies that if you had it on your CV, it will open doors for you, quote and
Absolutely.
unquote. But people buy your personality first before they buy what you're selling. They buy you as a person before they buy what you're selling. Because if a person comes in and you have this sort of whatever attitude, you may have all the skill set, you may have worked with Google, but the person who's interviewing you is thinking, this person doesn't come across as a people person, very arrogant. They're not going to hire you, whether you have Google and Facebook all matched all over, up and down your CV. People buy you first before they buy what you're selling. So, therefore, my advice to people who are coming into the market with little experiences, don't despise anything. Aim for the stars, apply everywhere. Even if where you're working is one small IT firm that no one knows their name on Coca Road in Ilupeju. That's where I grew up in, right? Nobody knows you, but you are there. You sharpen your sword, your skill set by working with these quote unquote unknown companies. You learn people management, you learn people skills, you learn how to deal with stakeholders, you learn the little bits in between the lines. Because when the company is very big, they don't have time to be teaching you in between the lines because they think you're coming with all the best. You look, listen, you're coming to work
They
with
hire
Google.
people that already know all of those
Just
things.
and you exactly, they know, you know everything. They drop some words in a meeting. If you don't understand the lingo, if you don't understand the abbreviations that they're talking about, you will look silly and you'll be caught out. Do you understand? So that's why I said don't despise any company, don't despise any opportunity. Learn what you need to learn in the doors that open for you. And when you learn what you need to learn and you actually bring your best self to these companies without saying, oh, this is beneath me, I want to be earning 1 point something million, but these ones are paying 200. Don't do that. Have the attitude of every single opportunity is a god-given opportunity. It's a god-given opportunity to get to be the best at what you do, and then you learn. And of course, when you've given the best at what you do, in even in this small place, the doors for bigger place will open for you. And when those doors open, when you are now there and having the conversations with them and solving problems with them, you're not going to be, you're not going to be looking at anyone's face for guidance. You are the guide, you are the expert. So you're coming into these companies as an expert. Do you understand? And to be an expert, you need to have the experience behind you that allows you be an expert, that allows you, that teaches you. Do you understand? So for me, I'm just my advice is listen, just take every opportunity. Don't despise anything. Don't look down at any opportunity. If the doors for these big ones are not opening yet, it's because maybe God is trying to say to you, listen, my child, you need some work, you need some sharpening. It could be in people skills, it could be the way you present yourself, it could be confidence. Because God doesn't want you to go and embarrass yourself anywhere. So you know that it's not just only about you, me, what I want to earn, what I want to earn. It's about you being the best for you, so that any door that opens, you will just fit in and you will take over, and they will know that this person has come and this person is here to save the day. as opposed to you getting there and you're like, what do I do in this situation? They look at you like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to be an expert in this field. So that would be my advice in that area. Take every
And
opportunity.
yeah, very, very true. And like you said, it's just training people, having, especially when you get into an organization. Organizations, they are like pa 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 pa. They're just going this way because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they are measured based on their successes. They are measured. They have, a return on investment that they
Yes.
want
Yeah.
to have. They're not
Yeah.
hiring you because they like you and they are like, okay, we just like to see her face every day. They're
Yeah.
hiring you because they think that there's something you are going to bring into the organization that will shift the way in which they are running, or you
Yeah.
will help move them forward to what they want to achieve that particular quarter, that particular year, and help them with their
Exactly.
corporate strategy. So that means that if you are coming in there, you have to understand that there are things that you have to bring. You have to be able to bring a whole lot of things for people to really say, we talked about being a star player the other day. How do you become a star player? We already talked about, preparation. And you could see all of these things start to align together because
Yeah.
you to actually succeed in today's hiring market, it means that, that you could hear there's so many jobs, but then there's so many people getting fired. So it's not about, oh, there's so many jobs, I'm going to rush and just get half baked and get in there. It means that you need to take your time. Think about this like a cake. Get baked, get cooked properly, and then go out there and start to shine. And then when you even shine, you have to start to look left, right. What sort of icing is out there again? Okay, I need to change from fondant to buttercream icing and start to use all of that and start to rise. And that is how
Yeah.
people. It's not all about I want to get it now because we are living in a now, 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 now instant gratification generation. And I'm extremely scared for this generation because many things just look so easy. It's like, oh yeah,
Mm.
I don't even need to go to school. I could be an influencer. Okay, how long is that going to last? I'm not dishing it, but I'm just trying to say that preparation, having something that can take you for the long haul, having something that even however age you get, you could dust something up and still go out there and be relevant. It's
Yeah.
extremely important. And now that you're young, is the right time to make sure that you get all of those badges, you get as many failures as possible, you start to get your wins, and then you start to move up in the ranks, making sure that as you are moving up the ranks, you are, like you said, you are not looking down on things and you are not looking down on opportunities because people remember you for the things, the impact that you've made. People remember you, how you worked with this colleague. People remember you, how you tackled this situation. And like I mentioned to you, it's not all about the people you know, it's about who knows you. In that room when decisions are made, and we need a solution architect. And Mo will tell you there are jobs that she has not applied for, and someone just said, you just need to get more. Why? Because they've seen her perform, incredibly well in a different organization. That has happened to me as well. Speak to people that are professionals. This has happened to them tons and tons because you start to get headhunted. People say, oh, yeah, I used to have a pal in this organization that did this, this, this. But if you didn't bring yourself out as a true star, how would that happen?
Yeah.
So, we have some questions here. I think you want to add to that.
Yeah, I just remembered this experience, and I just thought maybe this might also help because this is raw conversations where we're just being as honest as possible,
As
right? I
possible.
remember, yeah, when I first moved to the UK 15, 16 years ago, that was my first degree is law. I actually went through the whole process, okay, and then it became called to the bar and stuff. And I came here and I was like, okay, so I want to work. I'd just done my company secretarial exams as well, so I could work as a company sec. And I had all these options, but I came here and I was new and I didn't really know anybody. And so I started looking for a job. Now, I didn't have what you guys have now, which is someone to sit me down to say, listen, this is how you go. Don't, this is the way you need to start. So I was applying to all these big companies. I wasn't getting any results and stuff. So I now decided, look, I need to feed. I need to earn money somehow. Let me apply. And then the very first job I applied to was a company called TravelX, and it was selling. It's a
Oh,
currency.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember trying Travelers, yeah.
TravelX, yes, selling money and
Mhm.
stuff. And I had this small booth that I had to enter with the uniform on and stuff. This and in my mind,
You're doing like money exchange, like
yes, counting it 5, 10, 15, 20, and everything. I had this, and I would wear this uniform as well. I never even thought that I would get a job that I was wearing a uniform. I even, you understand what I mean? But let me tell you, that little booth I was in taught me so much more my than anything about people, about how to get on the because no matter where you are, no matter the job you are in, you are not there for you. You are always trying to buy somebody over to your side, right? You're always trying to buy someone's. You want them to see to have the same opinion as you in terms of like you're trying to influence them, and how you influence people and win people over is by sharpening your sword on how you come across so that they know that they're important, and they, because you've made them feel important, they want to listen to you and buy into your whatever idea that you have. That little booth taught me so much more because people come in. Remember, I'm dealing with people every day. People are traveling on holiday. They've come to change their money. So this is not me. This is not a job that I can avoid people. I always was speaking to people. Hello, hi, how you doing? What would you like today? And stuff like that. So what would you like today? How you doing? All those conversations I was having with them was so critical to my foundation that by the time I had my very first big interview with Chartered Chartered Bank, is that what they're called?
standard chartered.
Standard Chartered Bank, sorry. Standard Chartered was the very first bank I worked in the UK, but I had done this job for 6 months with TravelX. Hello, how you doing? What would you like today? People with grumpy attitudes, people who didn't like black people, people who were whatever. They were all manner of people were coming in front of me. You understand? And some of them will even throw the money. I want this and whatever. Whatever was wrong with them, they're coming to my booth to lay it all out. What am I going to do? Slam the phone on them, slam the door on them, and tell them go somewhere else? No. It taught me about people management. It taught me about having an indestructible mindset. It taught me about speaking my truth and standing up and not being afraid. It taught me so much because all of these small skills that you think are not relevant to the skill set that you have as a BA, you need it as a designer, as a developer, whoever it is, because you're not developing for yourself, you're developing for people. So it's always about people, it's always about developing the best skill set. So these people taught me how to hold my own, how to, how to face any difficult situation. And to the point where I was making about don't despise any opportunity, it was one of the men, one guy, what's his name, Roger Woolley, I'll never forget him, came to the booth, wanted to change money, and we just got talking. As I was changing the money, he was like, "Oh, you seem very likable or whatever." I looked up, I was like, "Oh, thank you. So is this what you do?" I was like, "Oh, well, I'm doing this for the." I was still counting his money, as he was talking to me, like, "Oh, I'm just doing this for the meantime." So like, "Oh, what did you study law? Really?" And I was like, "Oh, oh my goodness." He now turned out to be one of the members of the Chartered Secretary Institute of the UK.
Oh
Got
wow.
so interested in my life, like I couldn't even believe it, and was like, "Oh, this is my number." And next thing, I got a text from him the next week telling me to come to the annual general meeting of Standard Chartered Bank, that he
Oh
wanted to
wow.
be to the CEO. That was how that job came about. I couldn't believe it. I remember I had £70. I ran to the store. I went to go and buy what to wear. I didn't remove the tag because I couldn't afford the dress. So I left the tag. I left the tag inside. I wore, because I wanted to look corporate. I went there and everything. As soon as I got there, the guy was like, "Come, come, 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 come." I stood beside him. This is someone I did not know, did not have any favors. He didn't have any. He just said, "Stand beside me." As soon as the woman came in, one small woman, I would never have met her. Like, I want you to understand that I would never have met this woman ever in my life if it wasn't for Roger Woolley. And I stood there and it was like, "Oh, hi, hello." I was like, "Oh, hi, Elizabeth. This is my," and he said, "This is my protege." I was like, "Oh, yeah, good afternoon. You read law?" "Yes." "And you did your ICSA?" "Yes." "Okay, come and see me in my office the following week." That was what that woman said. She only said 2 words to me. She walked off. The guy was like, "Go and see her next week." I ran out of that place to quickly go and return the outfit. So before I sweat all over it, because I was sweating from my head from the experience. I couldn't believe it. The following week I went, I had the interview with the lady, and because again, from all the preparation, right, speaking to people, when she was talking to me, I knew how to sit up to answer the questions and everything. That was how this lady gave me a job on the spot, and that was how my life changed from inside booth wearing uniform and whatever
Corporate, no
to
corporate
corporate
thing.
job. That was how it happened. So I just, as we're talking, it's so funny. I've never even remembered this. I don't even think I've told you this in
No,
private
I have
before.
never had it.
I have never ever thought about this experience until now. Anything can happen, but you always have to be in the place of preparation. Don't despise
Absolutely.
anything. Don't look down on anybody. Take every experience as an experience of you're bettering yourself, because you never know. There's a Roger Woolley that comes, speaks to you for 2 seconds, takes an interest in you, and connects you. It's all about connection. It's all about open doors. Sometimes it's not about the things that you know in your head. It's not about that. So you build yourself up, you build your spirit man up, you build you up for
Mm.
those opportunities to come. So anyway, sorry, I
No,
went.
that was amazing. That's like the best analogy you could use. And it's a real one. It's not even an analogy. That's like the best
Yeah,
example.
happened to me.
Yeah. So you see, it's not about the people that you know, it's about who knows you. So Rocha
Yeah,
got to, oh, this lovely lady, you must have done something. Probably you smiled a lot more that day and you
that
just took
day. Yeah,
interest. And it's just about, whatever you're doing, and I'm such a fan of this. Whatever you're doing, you have to do it diligently. You have to
yes,
put in your best at everything.
yes,
Otherwise, there's no point in trying. Don't even bother if you're not going to bring in your A game. You have to
yes,
put in your A game every single time, because then people know that, oh, this person, if she says she's going to do this, she's definitely going to do it. She's a person of integrity. She knows she goes for what she wants. And that is what you want to be known for. So, guys,
yeah,
guys, guys, this is very, very important. These are life skills that once you have this and you start to, treat everything like that, you won't believe how fast you're going to grow. And as you climb up, don't forget the people you are meeting along the way, because you don't know,
yeah,
you might just need them on your way back down, because life is seasons. So
yeah.
let's go into our questions. And guys, I know that you guys are here listening. Ask your questions, as we only have just 15 minutes more to round this up.
Yeah.
So I'll put this on stage. This is by a while. What will be your advice on experience over certification in today's hiring market?
Experience triumphs anything. Trust me, it does. Certifications are great, because they open the doors for you. A person who sometimes it opens the doors for you because they're looking for somebody who's maybe, ICSA certified, Prince 2 certified, and blah 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 blah. And they're all great. I'm not don't don't get me wrong. Where you can get more certifications, get them. If you can study in the evenings for something and it's not impacting your life, and you can add it to what to your arsenal, fantastic. But experience is always what I just talked to you about. That's not a certification. That's a real experience. Do you
Exactly.
understand? And you can't. It's not taught. It's not bought. It's not something you can, because when you work in an environment, there are things that happen that the textbook does not prepare you for. You understand? No textbook can prepare you for it. No amount of reading, no amount of Prince 2 can prepare you for a difficult stakeholder. Like for example, I remember, and again, sorry, I'm not going to make this long, but I
No,
remember
please.
some.
We like the real life stories. They are more interesting.
Yeah. So I remember some difficult stakeholder I was trying to speak to. I don't know. There was just something about him was so difficult. Everybody already knew him as difficult. But I'm doing a project and I need his input, because you can't make a change without a stakeholders agreeing to his department changing. He was the
Yeah.
head of marketing or something funny, and the way we were going to do things involved them doing a manual process. The guy was like, listen, I'm not even coming to the meetings. If he's not at the meeting and he doesn't sign on, how are you going to build it? There's no way. So I kind of thought, so how do I do this? Then I noticed that, and this was not in the textbook. I asked everybody, even the people in the company, they were like, listen, we don't know how to deal with this guy. You have to figure it out on your own. And then watched him. I watched his routine. Noticed he
Mm.
came in very early in the mornings, and he had 3 cups of coffee before 9.
Oh my God. It's like we have the same experience. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, before 9. And, and I just watched him. I was like, okay, he comes in, he has his copy, his grumpy attitude, whatever. And I just decided that I was going to watch where he was going, went to this Starbucks and stuff. And I don't drink coffee, I don't do any of those things. Got to the Starbucks early just so that we can coincidentally bump heads there. Do you understand? And once I saw him, it was, obviously he recognized me and he was like, oh, hi, ma'am. I carried his bill. I was like, hi, dude. And that was how we struck up a conversation. I was like, listen, let me get this for you. I got the whatever. I was like, I've already ordered and everything. And I handed it over. I was like, no, no, no. I said, yes, 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 please. I've always wanted to do something nice. And we started talking. And we go into the lift and we started talking. And I was like, I know I've been trying to get you. Your secretary says this and that and the other. Can I see you today? Please. And I promised the third one is going to be on me. And he just smiled. And it was just that smile. And that was how I got an opportunity to speak to the guy, even though he still did not agree to the terms that we were coming to. But I had a chance to speak to him and I
I
had
think
a chance to hear his views. Yes. And to get, because it was important to know why he was, you know, blocking the progress of the project, because sometimes you think it's about you but actually something about him. And I now found out actually that the reason why he was blocking it was because he spent 2 years building that process. Nobody gave him any accolades. Now this girl just comes in and says that, oh, she's going to change the architecture of things, and what he worked on for 2 years that nobody got accolade, that he got no accolades for, they want to change it. That was his problem.
mm,
So I was able to come to a conclusion with him that, okay, how do we do this? Let's merge it so that your work doesn't disappear, but we still have this layer. We came to some agreement, which wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it wasn't at least a dead end. Where do you get that from? In a textbook. So
no.
experience is, now I know that no matter the how difficult a person is, how crazy a person is in the company, I know how to deal with them, because one, you always know that it's not about you. So you remove yourself out of the equation. You understand? And then you find ways to speak to these difficult people and find them at a middle ground, which is not taught. So yeah, experience over certifications any day. Pack all the experiences that you can. Pack it. And then use your certifications as a as a green flag, sorry, on your CV and stuff, so they know that that's what you've learned. But experience triumphs, is a winner any day, any day.
Absolutely. As you guys already know my answer to that, because that's the only answer. Experience, experience, experience. There's so many ways you can show experience, and you can't just, CVs or your certificate. Yeah, good. Especially in a place like UK. I think that really, really they value a lot of experience. And I think America is coming to that right now. They
Yes,
value a lot more experience. Africa is coming to that too. The whole world is beginning to see that it's skill over certificate. And this is why people are asking those questions. But at the same time, does it mean that certificates are invaluable? Absolutely not. But then you won't, there's so many people. Raise your hand if you know that person that is a first class student and still does not even understand what they went to learn. That because they crammed it and they know how to pass exams. But it's not about exams. It's all about what can you do with it? What impact can you bring? If I see
yeah,
that this person can bring value, as in who cares if you were third class in whatever you did, you get provided
yeah,
you're people and you also have a bag of experience to bring the things that we are missing before you know what's
yes,
happening. Yeah,
yes.
you start to shine. Because of time, we'll go straight. Can a failed job interview be called a career success path?
Field job. I think what I'm not sure that I understand this, but let me try to get it. So you're saying that if you failed, that does it help you to um does it help you to redirect your path
See
to
your
success?
career path.
Is
I
that what
think
is that what he's trying to say?
I feel so. Kingsley, I feel so. If that's not what you're saying, please message so we know. But I think you're right. I think that's what it's trying to say. If you failed in an interview, is it still like a badge, for can you still get a successful career at the end?
Okay, so I'm going to assume that that's what he's trying to say. And if that's the case, the first things first is understanding that there's nothing like failure, as far as I'm concerned. Do you understand? You only fail, as in my opinion, when you stop trying, when you give up. That's when you fail. I remember a training I did. Um, it's not even here. Part of the certifications that we're talking about. Bolt marketing something something. That was like maybe 2018 or something. And what the first things they taught us is, when you're going into marketing, you want to make sure that you get a no. Like you have to get no's. This is not about you. They're not teaching you to get yeses. Like, when you make a phone call, cold call to somebody, they are not teaching you to get yeses. It has to be a no. And the reason why is, when you eliminate all the no's, it's only yeses that can remain. Do you get what
Mm,
I'm trying to say?
that's a smart one.
It's a psychological thing. Yes, it's like psychological. Oh, fantastic! I got 5 no's today. Hallelujah! Means that the yeses that are left. That means you are eliminating all the no's, and there are yeses out there. Did you
Mm,
get what I'm trying to say? So it was like a psychological thing to say. Listen, many no's. If you go into an interview and you don't get the job, it's not a failure. It is, there's something to take from it, right? Especially if they even give you feedback at the end of the interviews. They used to do that long time ago here, and I don't know if they still do that now, but they'll give you a feedback and say, oh, you didn't answer the questions properly, or we weren't clear about your experience, or whatever it is. Now you now take all of that. You say, oh, I wasn't clear, or I wasn't, I didn't come across as personable. Okay, let me work on these things. You understand that? You take that and you work on them. You work on them and then you try again. So there's no failure. They are just all experiences that you add into your arsenal. You remember when somebody asked you a question and you looked sideways and he looked at you like, why are you looking at me like that? Then you remember, okay, maybe that's not the way you want to sit. You remember, you just take those notes and you sharpen your skill set as you go along. Nothing like failure. There's absolutely nothing like that. But when you go for an interview, they say no, and you say that's it, my life is over, nobody likes me, and you throw in the towel, then that's when you can
that
say you
really
failed,
failed.
because you failed on yourself, you give up on yourself. But never ever give up. Go for it. And you never know, in an interview when they ask you questions, it might help you understand where you need to go to as well. Like, oh, actually, I think I really like being on the solution side of things, because that's how I knew I'm more of a solution. I like to, my brain knows how to think about solutions to any problem. Do you get what I mean? And as opposed to trying to be a sheep and thinking about using their own solutions and trying to get the company to listen to the solution that they've talked about. It's about me and a team sitting down to say, how do we do this? How do we do this? So that's how I knew that my path was this way. You understand? Go through interviews. And sometimes the interviews can help you eliminate your path as to what you really want as well. And then you take that note as well. But whether that happens for you or not, and it's a no, fantastic. Rejoice after the no. In fact, have a party after the no, because you're going back the next day into the war zone and you're looking for your yeses, because your yeses are out there. Your no's have been eliminated. So that's how you see it.
That's such a beautiful way to think about it. I think that's very, very powerful there. And in life, the things that are more guaranteed are the no's. You're going to get a whole lot of no's, and
Yeah.
you just need to be built for that. And then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's all you need is just that one yes. It's not, you don't need a lot of yeses. It's just one
Yeah.
yes. But then you're going to get a whole lot of no's, and like she mentioned, when you stop getting the no's, at some point the yes is going to follow. The only thing is you can't stop trying. If you stop trying, or you're not learning from the no's that you're getting, they're giving you feedback, you're not taking it. All of that is what makes you feel. So let's go to another one. So gaining experience with a company or building gaining experience with the company or building portfolio personally, which is advisable. So I think this is, do you go freelance or do you gain an experience with the company?
I think I would say gaining experience with the company is my own personal preference. But even when you're going freelance to work with companies, right? So
Absolutely.
there are companies that you're working with as well as a freelancer. And as long as those companies can give you a reference, then you're doing both. But the only thing is with the company, they have a so now this is where the road splits, right? Because in the company there's a career progression to most of the roles that they have, right? And so if you're because some people their heart desires is to work in a company and have a career. And if that's what you want, like they want to build a career in this company, they want to go from EA to AE to this and that. They've seen all the titles and they've seen themselves climbing the ladder on those titles. Fantastic. If that's what your dream is, it doesn't mean that you're less of a dream. And you and I even actually have a friend in Texas, I don't want to mention her name, that is that kind of person. You know what I mean? Who wanted a career, who wanted to build, she saw herself as that. And now she's like, president or executive president or something of a company. And she started as, a trainee or something. You know what I mean? So if that is your dream, building a career in that sense, then of course, you know that gaining experience in a company is the answer because that's how you climb the ladder of that career that you're looking for. But if it is freelance, there is no career progression. You work into the you for example, you work with OptiCloud as a designer for 6 months. That's what you are working as a designer. When you leave this company and you go to Tedbury, for example, to work, Tedbury would advertise for a designer, and you are going to apply to work as a designer there. You're not going to apply to work as the senior architect. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You're going to apply for the same job that you sort of applied with OptiCloud to go and sort of carry on more experience there. So for me, it's like with the freelancing, you will gain experience in your field, in the field that you are freelancing in, but there isn't any assistant this and then executive this and then jumping into a career progression that takes you upwards in that sense. But so then you have to ask yourself what you want. Am I a career driven person that I want to have all the accolades and say I was this here, I was a trainee here, and then because when you build in a career, when you want to move from a company, you want to move from HSBC to Barclays, because you've done like 4 years in HSBC as this and this, you can now apply for a senior role in Barclays to carry on your career progression. That's the difference. But if you're working as a freelancer, it's freelance. You're working here and you're doing a design job for me for 6 months. You're going somewhere else and you're doing sort of something similar. Do you get? Unless you now change your career, your skill sets completely. And that one is something that you now mechanically do for yourself in terms of having different titles, in your lifetime of building your career. So it really depends on what you want and what your dream is. Again, it goes back to your dream. What is your dream? What is your visualization for yourself? Where do you see yourself? How do you see yourself progressing? What is that thing that is in your head that you've seen that you want to have? That's how you need to sort of look at it.
Yeah, and I think that there are actually three parts. There is a part where, yes, you want to, because, and that part is fast changing. You want to be in a company for, 20 years and climb all the way and become a partner. And then there is also there's a part where, okay, you want to, and this is the common part these days. You want to now be able to gain experience within this corporate sort of setting, and then after a while you've gained experience in there, you're able to climb a little bit, and after a while you because of you now have a lot of experience, if you are going into another company, you would probably then get a different sort of a job, or a higher sort of job if it's the same size of company. But if it's a higher company, then you might still be able to retain what you have for a different sort of experience. But then there is the contract sort of work where you're doing 6 months here in this company, you're doing 6 months in another company as well. You could be, and those sort of ones, they could still be structured within the country, within the corporate sort of setting. But if you are on Fiverr, on Upwork, or all of these places that, oh, I am a designer, I could design, someone put out a job, oh, I need someone to help me design this and this and this, you take that. Another one, you go back onto Upwork again tomorrow, you take another, you now have three jobs that you are doing. One company is in India, one company is this, you have finished that job in 1 week. I think that is the question, because then you have a whole lot of things. You have, okay, so I've done this for this company, I've done that for that, but they're all just scattered. It's not in a complete, defined, sort of structured way.
Yeah.
So
That's
if
why I
you
said, yeah.
so
Oh,
if you
sorry.
don't have the structure, if you don't have the structure yourself to be able to say,
Mm,
I have a structure on how I'm going to move from here to here, I
mm,
think that, if you are someone that, and at the end of the day, all of these things, there is a zero sum game. After, you could start this way and go, 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 go this way, and someone could start from an entry level on a corporate, and before you know what is happening, in 10 years' time, the person that even started with the corporate might even be a whole lot higher than you are making, you think you're making a whole lot of money doing freelance from the beginning. But if freelance is what you found yourself in, take it and start to figure out how you get yourself more structured. if that is your dream, like Harriet did mention.
Yeah.
So
That's why I said, just to touch on, that's why I said the vision is so important, because then you have to know where you want to go. You know, like what she said about what you said about the whole freelancing, having three jobs here and there, is so true. You get what I mean? You have it here. What you did something with a company in Canada, you did something with a company in India, and it's all sort of scattered. And you can build your own structure. Nobody, you don't need to go to someone's table for them to build your structure for you. You can build your structure. How do you want to go? But the most important thing is, what is the vision? What do you want for yourself? Do you want a career? Like, I want to climb up the ladder. I want to have all these different titles. I want to finally have my own office with my name on the door. That's what you want. Then you now walk in that direction. Yeah.
absolutely. So we've run out of time and we have three questions. So, guys,
Wow.
this is where you want to. We don't have the time. I don't even have it. We have to upvote one of the three. So I can see there are two questions. So look at the questions and answer area and let me know the one that you absolutely want us to answer. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick the one at the top and we'll go with that. Uh, what can you do to increase your chances to land your? Oh gosh. All right, I'll put this one up. That's the one everyone wants. So, what can you do to increase your chances to land your first interview?
It's the power of numbers. It's the power of numbers to land your first interview, right?
Yeah.
Because it didn't say to pass your first interview, it's to land
Oh,
it, is to get it in
yeah.
the first place, right?
Yes.
Okay. So to get it in the first place is the power of numbers. Apply, apply, apply everywhere. If you only apply for one job, do you know what that means? The chances that they call you for that job is 0 to 1. So it's not even
Mm,
50-50. Like you're you're on the negative when you apply for one. But when you apply for 50 jobs in a day, you just send your CVs out, you apply, you never give up, right? Someone is bound to call you. Someone is bound to look at your interview, your CV, to say, okay. But if you don't send it out, if you don't try your best to let it get to the four corners of the world, then
mm.
you're slimming down your chances. So apply, 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 apply.
So
Don't
there you
stop.
have it. Apply, apply, apply. And then let's take this as the last one. What are the worst career decisions one can make in very unfortunate circumstances end up making? Sorry, I didn't read this well. What are the worst career decisions one can, in very unfortunate circumstances, end up making?
Anita, I'm not sure that I really understand that, but again, sorry, it might be me also misreading it. But what career decisions one can make? See, let me just give you like an overall thing. Number one, understand that my own perspective is that you can never fail. Okay, you can never fail. So wherever you are, if you have a job that you've landed, always bring your best self forward. Work on yourself. Work on your mindset. Work on your attitude. If you have if you have an attitude to work, figure out, why do I have this attitude. Do this. There's a program I talk about called 7 Levels Deep. Ask yourself 7 questions about it. Why am I feeling this way? Work on yourself. Work on your interpersonal skills. Work on your skill set, so that when you are now in a job and something happens, you and I don't know, because when you say worst career decisions, I don't know if you decided to leave the company, for example. Maybe you found a oh, actually, you found a better job somewhere, right? And you've worked with this company for 2 years or 1 year, whatever it is, and you now want to move to greener pastures. Because in this first company that you were in, you always brought your best self forward. Always. You never burned bridges. You never took anything personal. You worked on yourself. You're a team player. You wanted things to go well for that company. You wished the company well. You came with a kind heart to wish your own company, where you're working, where they're paying you a salary, you wish them well by putting your best foot forward. When it's time to leave, you leave in a gracious way that is full of integrity. You giving your what's it called? What do we call it now? Your
Notice.
notice. If it's 2 months notice that you have, a 1 month notice, don't just jump ship because you feel like, oh, you found somewhere else, I need to leave. That is a very bad career decision. Do you understand? Because you don't know what you're going to go and meet there. And most of these companies, sometimes they're all in there. There's now a synergy. LinkedIn is linking everybody in. So if you feel like, oh, I'm leaving, for example, Tedbury, and I'm jumping to Opticlad, I don't care. They asked me to give them 2 months notice. I signed that I was going to give them 2 months notice, but I don't care. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. You're going to meet it where you're coming. That you can't escape it. Do you understand? But as long as you do all the right things to the best of your ability as a human being, right? There's never a worse career decision. There's never a worst career thing. You can do the best that you can where you are. You leave when it's time for you to leave, when you feel that it's time for you to go somewhere else with greener pastures to enhance yourself, because again, you always have to put yourself first, right? But you do the things that you need to do correctly. And as long as that's what you're doing within the job that you have, and you're always a team player, you always show up, you always bring your best self forward. Remember that how you do one thing is how you do all things.
All things,
Work
yeah.
on yourself. I don't see how you can possibly end up on the negative. You will always be on the positive. You will always have a reserve for yourself. And when it's time to leave, leave graciously. Don't burn bridges. Don't look down on anybody. Don't think, oh, I'm going and that's it. And I don't give, I don't care. I'm going to this other place. You will meet it. There's no way you can escape it. So for me, that's how you go about life, and you can never fail if you have those right principles in place.
Yeah, and I will second that as well, Anita. So the worst career move is for you not to be a true professional. You have to be professional to the core. That means
Yeah.
that when you sign something, you stand by it. When you say something, you stand by it. You don't
Mm.
call blue black or black blue. Do you get? You are someone that you are a person of integrity. If you are, then those things will you won't understand how the dots are connecting, but it will end up connecting. I believe everything we are doing is a dot. At some point, it starts to join together, but right now we can't see how it is. So if we are able to, you don't try to burn bridges. And if it's like if you're in a meeting with people, you treat everyone, however, junior or so to you. You treat people the way you like to be treated, because all of those things count. But then you still have it doesn't stop you from having an eagle eye and staying sharp on what you want. But then you just have to make sure that the way you treat people, like Mo mentioned, people that you meet up, people that you meet down, the way you treat people, when someone calls your name, what comes after that? Is she a lovely person? Is she it doesn't matter if they say she's a tiger. Yeah, it could be a tiger because you know exactly what you're doing. But does she come that she's completely unkind? You don't want to be that person. That makes it very, very difficult for people to work with you. And they're just going to work with you just because, oh, she knows her stuff, but let's use her for that. And then, you want to be a good person. That's my own answer. Um,
Tommy, I
so,
think I was just reading something by the side where where she's trying to elaborate on what she was trying to say.
oh, sorry, I didn't see that.
I was trying to read it
Yeah,
as
for
well.
example, accepting a role you have no interest in, but faced with juicy offers to one's career detriment. This can be a detrimental in the long run. Okay, okay, I think what she's saying. Right, right, right. I think yeah, yeah. So if you don't like the role, you don't like the company, you're not really going to be happy there, but then they're giving you so much juicy offers and you're like, you've just gone for the money. And every day you wake up, you're like, I have to go to this place. But then I can buy myself a nice handbag. Maybe it's a handbag that will keep you happy for you to keep it there. Who knows?
Uh,
Um,
yeah, sometimes you do things, but for me, again, I haven't gone through all the careers and where I am right now. Nothing. You have to do things well. You have to make decisions that benefit you as a human being, because every single moment you spend in the company is a part of your life that you're giving away. So if you're in a job and you accepted the job because it's detrimental to, I'm even trying to think about an example. So I mean, what kind of example can we even think about? Like, okay, you accepted the job with HSBC. It's what? It's not your role. It's not what you want to do, but they're paying you
like you've used
100K.
up a whole lot and you crammed and you crammed it, you crammed your way through the interview. And now you have now gotten the interview, you're now there. But then you know that this is not where your passion lies. Your passion lies on the thing that you're building. And you're just showing up to just collect money. And you're not really interested in them.
Okay. So
That
maybe that's what you're trying to
happens.
say. That happens, yes. But listen, being a good human being all round helps you to make the right decisions, even when you're in a role that you don't like. If you're in a role that you don't like because you're trying to gather money, yes, gather money, no problem, to for your next journey. But when you are there, still give it your best shot. Still do the best that you can in every job that you find yourself in. Do you understand what I mean? And then make exit in a very professional way, like Tommy said. You understand? You can have that mindset that, okay, I would earn money for 1 year. okay, to build my, to move to the next level, because I don't know, my parents need this money, I need to support my family, whatever emotional reasons that you accepted the job because of the money, fine, accept it, no problem. But don't just show up like a scarecrow every single time because you're there and your mind is in there. It's true now. Or you just show up and you're like, your heart isn't there, because everything you do is coming back to you in some fold. So even when you're in the job, I've done jobs that I didn't want to do, but you're there, you still give it your best, you give it all of you, because you never know. I can't tell you the number of times that somebody has come to look for me on LinkedIn because we did something together many years ago, and I didn't even like the job. But you are there because you are building
Mhm.
yourself up as a person. And when you build yourself up as a person, it doesn't matter where you go to next. The doors will open for you because you brought your authentic self, your best self forward. You
Yeah.
understand? So you serve where you are. If they're feeding you, they're paying your bills, don't just look at it as, I don't care, I'm just going to do whatever I have and slam the door and leave. Always be professional, even when it's not convenient. Even when it's not convenient.
Okay, guys.
And then don't
But
waste time there. If your heart isn't there, don't waste too much time. Time is precious and your life is also taken away. So do what you have to do, serve, in the best capacity you can serve, and then leave and go and do what you really want, because life is short. You don't have time to be, rolling around the burning bush, like I like to say. So
yeah. Oh my God, today has been interesting. We've gone over time, but then in fact, I totally lost track of time because we were having time. All right, guys, you guys, you've gotten it. We have to stay, to be a true professional to the core. That is it. As in, no shortcuts. Our shortcuts don't last. I've seen the comments that people are making, and that is the truth. It looks like you're winning. In those sort of years, you're winning. You're winning. At some point, it catches up with you, and you're like,
it
boom.
does. It catches on your back. The bag that you bought
And then
catch
you
up
will
with
have to
you.
go all the way back. But then for the people that have building it, it's like you build your house on a solid ground. People that have
Yeah.
built it solidly, then you can go back to your past relationships and they'll still welcome you with open hands.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can talk and not look back. You can walk on your streets and like, who's chasing me? And
Yeah. And for the Christians on the call, remember Joseph in prison. Even when he was in prison, that's not where he wanted to
that's a
be.
very good
That's not
example.
Yeah, that's not where he wanted to be. Certainly, nobody wants to be in prison. But even then, he still was professional, still doing his work, still helping people out. Still, do you understand? And when it was time for elevation, that somebody
Hmm.
remembered him and brought him out. So always remember, no matter where you find, even dungeons, even if you are cleaning, even if you're a maid, even if you're a nanny, even doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, always bring your best self forward. Know that nothing lasts forever, right? And opportunities can come like that. You will
Yeah.
not even see it coming. You don't know who your Roger Willie will be in your own life. You never know who's going to knock on your door. Things can change in an instant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we will take this as the last thing. How do you want to be remembered? That is what you want. Every time you're about to do something, just think about it. How do I want to be remembered? I've
Yes.
come into this place. How do I want to be remembered? Everything you do, how do you want to? If you have that thought at the back of your mind, your conscience, you're a good person. You're created that way. Your conscience just allow you start to do good, and that is what it is. And we'll always, and professionally we'll carry the way, like Arinade mentioned today, and it's a very, very good quote. You should write it somewhere. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. It's just your personality. You start to carry that. It shines through in every aspect of your life. So guys, before this turns into a church, time for us to say, I had such a lovely time. Thank you so much, Arade, for coming back and gracing us, with an hour plus. We are so, so, so. By the way, that top is lovely. I need to come and get it. It-
Come and get it.
it's really nice. And thank you guys for chipping in, for making us laugh, for really bringing your true self as well into the questions, because it shows that you guys are really interested. And until I think the next one is going to be Wednesday, I can't even remember the topic, but I know it's a good one. I'll see you guys then, and then we would have more chat. So before then, remember, be your authentic self, bring your A game in everything you do, show up everywhere, and you'll be shocked at how people remember and how doors will start to open up for you. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Bye,
Ariade.
everyone. It was lovely
Ariade,
meeting
some
you.
love, guys. Let's see the emojis.
Let me
Love, love,
clap for them as well, because they've been being here and showing up. means that you value your life and you want to move forward. So,
Absolutely.
an
Absolutely.
ovation for all of you who's here as well. Well done. And just
Well
keep
done.
going, keep going, keep going.
Thank you. All right, guys. Bye. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.